thing. Kill the music. This is not like a smooth process. It really isn't. So TikTok people, I'll leave you running, but I can't look at both things, and I'm going to be looking up here like this because there's a different camera. So what I suggest you do is go and follow me on YouTube, and I'll address YouTube people now with that one. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to a live stream. There's more people watching me on TikTok right now, but that's usually how these things go. Maybe I will stick with you, TikTok people. I'm not in the right place. And the rug under my chair has sort of bunched up, so now it doesn't really roll around anymore. Hi, Kat. How are you? I know how you're doing. You were talking to me a minute ago. You're the only one there on YouTube. I'm going to just keep talking to people on both platforms now. I just retweet myself. Yeah. I did, but it's still true. So that doesn't matter. Why is Bill Hader trending on Twitter? Because of Barry. Okay, I'm supposed to watch Barry. I'll watch that. That's fine. That's all good. So then, YouTube. Hello, welcome to the YouTubiness. My furry friend is still here. I really enjoyed that today. If you haven't seen today's video, you should go and watch today's video. This thing is fucking awesome. That's just how it goes. The TikTok people are wondering what the hell's going on now, I imagine. Aren't we all wondering what the hell is going on? I know I am. And it's just really weird. And now I kind of want to do everything with a puppet. That was not my intention. I thought I'd just do one thing and be done with it. But it's just so amazing. It's just so much fun to have this little puppet with me all the time. And I don't know. I can't keep hold of it, can I? I can't. I can totally live like this. And it's more an emotional support sort of thing. I could get into it. I could get into it. It's interesting. And I don't know. I wasn't planning on this. It just sort of happened. I was getting toys for Paisley over the weekend, and you came across this one, and it's just yeah, it's just become one of those things now. But I don't think he'll stay around forever. Um, what do you say? The ADHD has won. Maybe the ADHD has won. Um, I don't know. But it's certainly a distraction, isn't it? It's certainly a distraction. Um, and it's. Do you know what? This is what happens when you grow up in a world with Ed the Duck and Gordon the Gopher, and indeed Sooty. And you kind of just, this idea of having this little puppet sidekick it's just like this is how things are done, isn't it? Right? I mean, why not? At least, do you know what? It could be worse. It could be worse. At least I'm not doing a voice with it, right? At least it doesn't come with a voice because that would be tragic. That's that's. Don't you think so, TikTok? So I don't know. I'm not gonna make this a thing. I'm not gonna make. I can't make it a thing because it's nuts, right? I'm not. It's not gonna become a thing. Um. How you doing there in the chat room? El Callahan just resubbed. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We might get a bark or something like that that happens when people do that. I'm not sure how the system works on the live streaming stuff, but sometimes there are things like that. That's the thing. Oh, super chats on YouTube change the color of my lights. I should have that on the thing. Uh, scrolling across. Oh, hello. It's Ellie. Do you know what's weird? Is that after a while, I forget I'm doing it. I don't know what to tell you. It's a little bit unnerving. Um, but I forget that it's actually like this is not a part of me, right? This is just it just becomes it's not. What's his name? Not missing. Why would I? Right. I don't know how you are on your animal identification process, but not only am I not trying to copy what somebody else is doing, but I think if I were to call this little guy Mr. Chicken, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, look at it. Right? It's the least chickeny thing in the world, right? It's not sticking. I told you it's not sticking around. It's not a thing. It's a thing I found in a charity shop when I was looking for toys for my dog to play with. And I thought it would be good in a video. And now it's kind of stuck on my hand and I can't mentally take it off because this is no longer a part of me. It's like a separate entity that exists and is attached to me in some way. That is more what this feels like. Also, my hand is incredibly sweaty right now. That is a thing. You know, don't you? Yeah, he knows. He knows. Uh, there's no you really you're the only one mentioning chickens at all here. I think you're the one with the chicken thing, Anonymous. I don't know what to tell you. I'm thinking it's a squirrel. Are you a squirrel? It's a squirrel. Look at the tail, dude. Like it's clearly a squirrel. Or a fox. It's a squirrel or a fox. Is it right? It has the more foxy ears. The tail, honestly, because the foxtail has the different coloring on it. They're not. It's not just like a brown one, and it's kind of up in and curly over at the top like a squirrely thing. Are you a fox or a squirrel? It's a frirrel. That's where I am with it. It's a little town timeless toy. You must not tumble dry it. And you must soak wash it at 30 degrees, but it doesn't say whether it's a thing, whether it's a fox. It doesn't have a name as a thing. I don't know. But I'm not comfortable. Are you a fox? I I don't know. There's something squirrely about this tail. I can't just I know look, the pointy ears that are very fox like. There's something very fox with it. But, you know, it's one of those things. Anyway, it represents the darkness. It represents all the things. I used it in today's video. It's today's darkness. That's what it is, because I don't talk about the darkness enough. And I have the darkness. I thought I should talk about it. Instead of collecting nuts, it collects personality disorders. That's a bit depressing. And not good in the winter either. That's definitely a thing. But it represents the darkness. The darkness. And sorry, I'm drinking my coffee. I need to drink my coffee. You're alright with that. The TikTok people got to watch me make it, didn't you, TikTok people? Wasn't that a fun adventure? The YouTube people missed out. You missed out. There's definitely something fun to be said for talking to two groups of people in different places. Why am I drinking coffee? Because right? Why not? It's not even decaf either. It's the good stuff. Why am I drinking coffee? First of all, because it's not gonna keep me up. That is not gonna be a problem. So, you know, fuck it. Does caffeine make me tired? It certainly doesn't keep me up. It certainly doesn't keep me up. I don't know that it makes me tired. I do like the caffeine in the morning though, so I don't know if that actually does something to me, or if it's just psychological, like, or I just like a hot drink in the morning, or whatever. But yeah, that coffee is not going to keep me up. It might do a little perk up for a tiny bit, but whatever. Just one of those things. I know it's a classic sign of ADHD. I did a TikTok video about it that I turned to private because no one fucking watched it. So I got rid of it. Because I did a thing where I like drank a load of coffee and tried to see if it made me focus at all. And it kind of did. Like I went out, did something, but it was like the least scientific experiment of all time. Right, you see, Ellie, that sounds like a bad idea, what you've just said there, doesn't it? We'll wait for everybody who's watching the video version. It's going to pop up in the chat bit on the screen any second now. There is a little bit of a delay there. I've been squirreling away my Ritalin, gonna go on a Ritalin bender, which will trigger a hypomanic episode so I can revise. Ellie, once again, I'm no expert in education or indeed medicine. But everything you've just said there sounds bad. Nothing sounds good about that. I don't know what to tell you. Other than kind of like, please don't do that. I understand there you need to catch up. I totally get that. But that doesn't necessarily sound like the best way to do it. And also, just because I can't sit here and tell you what the best way to do it might be, I doesn't mean that that's it, because I don't think it is. That worries me for you. Then again, hacking the mental illness, why the hell not? 5 weeks till Doom. It's 5 weeks exam time. Hang on, someone on TikTok loves my shirt. Thank you, Razor Ray. 24. I appreciate that. Asking for extensions doesn't happen with the GCSE. What exams are we talking, Ali? GCSEs or A levels? There's no extensions. It's like asking for an extension on SATs or something. It's not happening. Um, there's a question. Can you explain why people with BPD devaluate, split, and lie to their loved ones? Can I do that? I can give you some sort of ideas and concepts behind it, but I can't tell you why your ex did that. Um, Look, what we tend to do in relationships, or what we can do in relationships, is create sort of idealized versions of our partners in our head, and then when they don't live up to those ideal versions of themselves that we've created for them, they dramatically let us down. And we end up splitting on people, and that's, that's nothing to do with you being our partner. That's something that we do a lot of the time with a lot of people anyway. Um, God, it's such a hard question to sort of cover without specifics and that sort of thing, because it has to be done very generally anyway. Um, Lying, I don't know. There's lots of reasons why you might have to lie about something or cover something up. That one I don't know. And lying isn't specifically a BPD trait. Splitting is a BPD trait. But lying about stuff certainly isn't. Um, all right, SATs for Americans are rolling and weird. Okay, sorry, I'm doing that. I'm looking at two things. Welcome back to the main thing there. Um, where is Doggo tonight? Doggo is with his mother tonight, and will be back with me on Wednesday, I believe. Um, Such is sharing a dog, which sucks, but here we are. And the truth is, I wouldn't want to take him away from her any more than I'd want her to take him away from me, so we have to share. And it happens somewhat amicably. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, Anonymous. It's, yeah, you have to sort of, she'll need to get better on her own. And I'm sorry that you went through that. Um, What, compulsive? Hang on, Ellie. Compulsive lying is part of impulsivity. No, it's not. Impulsivity is part of impulsivity. It doesn't necessarily mean lying at all. Not in the least. You like to cover something up, and depending on what you're covering up, you might not need to lie. It's there is nothing about BPD that is specifically about lying. It is purely circumstantial. It depends on what you're needing to do or wanting to do or whatever. Will a lot of stuff result in lying? Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable, but that doesn't mean that lying in and of itself is a trait of BPD. And compulsive lying is compulsive lying. What is that? She accused me of things I didn't do. It's heartbreaking. I think her feelings were facts. You know what? By which you mean that she wouldn't be moved on her feelings. I understand. To an individual, their feelings are facts. They feel how they feel. We all do, right? And you can't tell someone that they don't feel how they feel, right? Trying to explain to somebody that they've reached a wrong conclusion is a very difficult thing to do with anybody, especially in a passionate situation where somebody feels very strongly about something, like with regards to a romantic relationship. But yeah, she might have come to conclusions that you feel were wrong. But she's reacting to her emotions and her instincts every bit as much as you or anyone else does. It's just that those things are very turned up. Um, and so it's by no means unreasonable behavior. It's generally, I feel with the splitting, it's sort of reasonable behavior for whatever you've decided has happened. It's just that you're wrong about what has happened. Yeah, Ali, I think the psych team know how to handle you. Clearly, diazepam is involved. Fair enough. I was prescribed some of that. When did I get that? When did I get that? I think that was. I feel like that was just before I got into group. Or maybe, I don't know. It was in sort of a period where it was recognized that things were wrong with me, but that nobody was really doing anything about it at that point yet. So there was kind of, oh, take this box of diazepam, and when you think you're going to go nuts, just take one of these and fall asleep, which was not a great idea. And I don't think I ever actually ended up taking one in the end. Um, it would have. I kind of shudder to think how that could have gone with my personality type, with my the way I react with medications and that sort of thing. Um, then yeah, I think to constantly keep diazepam around, and also look at that point. I was I had a lot of suicidal ideation. You know, I wasn't getting fixed yet at that point. I wasn't in therapy. I had a lot of suicidal ideation, and it was not a good idea to give me access to diazepam. That's something that could have gone very wrong and didn't, but wow, that was fairly irresponsible of them. I don't know, maybe they didn't give me enough to really hurt myself with at the time, but how many do you need? Really? Don't answer that. Uh you know, exactly what you're saying, Ellie. Exactly what you're saying. It's yeah, I'm glad I didn't get into that. Cuz look, there was a time when don't no. God, that's a lot. Right, okay. So yeah, they wouldn't have given me anything like enough. Could it be that narcissists project their darkness on others? Oh, we do that all the time. We absolutely do that all the time. That's one of projecting our darkness onto others is one of our favorite hobbies. What do you mean? It's all we do. Hi Noisy, how are you doing? Good to see you. Definitely a red squirrel. You're absolutely right. He's a red squirrel. Well, that's a bit. What? Where are you up to, cat? Because you what? You know. Anyway. Mondays suck. I don't know. I don't mind Mondays. It's springtime though, isn't it? So I'm happy. That's how that goes. TikTok people, I'm live on YouTube right now. That's a thing. Can I put a thing up? Oh, effects, enhance stickers. Oh, can I put that? Oh, we can here. Here we go. Oh no, that's crap. Get rid of that. Sorry, I've become distracted by TikTok on my phone now. Effects. No, we don't want to do that. Sound effects, voice. Stickers, I guess. But that's just crap. Never mind. We'll come back to that. There is a person behind you. Great, yeah. That's so good. Anyway, sorry, back on YouTube. Sorry, I should pay more attention to you, shouldn't I? Anonymous, are you conscious of it? Am I conscious of what? Sorry. When I do what? That's a thing. Sorry, I'd sort of lost track of that. Hey Annie on TikTok. Okay. Oh, you just noticed I shaved. Yeah. So let's address the facial hair. I at no point was ever growing a beard. That was never my intention. I can't stand it. I hate it. It's horrible. For so many reasons. And it had to go. I was actually just I was just wondering how long I could live with it. To be perfectly honest, I was wondering how long I could live with it. And I think it's about 2 weeks. I seem to I seem to think that's about it. And then it had to go. It's horrible. It's it's horrible. It had to go. Um, and do you know what? I looked at those videos I did while I had facial hair, and it looked scruffy. I don't like it. I don't like it as a look. I don't like having it. You can call me babyface rich all you like. That's fine. Um, you know, um, but it had to go. Just had to go. And it's when you sort of you don't know what it's like. It's when you're just walking around and you can feel it because it's like catching on the wind as you move around. I hate it. I hate everything about it. Um, you know. Right now, here's a controversial opinion to answer Anonymous in the chat there. I'm not sure how much I think gaslighting is a real thing at all on any level. I think it's bullshit. I don't think I don't think anyone with narcissism, anyone with MPD has ever consciously decided I'm gonna make them feel like they're going mad. right? No one ever. I think it's something that victim channels on YouTube like to perpetrate. I think gaslighting is a buzzword that people like to throw around at the moment, which is just bullshit. I don't actually think it's a real thing. I think we are manipulative and we will lie, but you know, it's in the sense that it's meant when people say it. I don't think that's a real thing. I've never felt like it's a real thing. We just lie. We will lie. And we will lie about things that are just so blatantly obvious. And we'll manipulate. But that's all it is. It's lying and manipulation. It's not even its own thing. But this idea of gaslighting, where it comes from, like, and it's from a fucking movie, right? That's how serious it is. It's from a fucking movie about, and it comes from a character in the movie who's like lighting and turning off gas lights, trying to make a woman think she's going mad, right? It's not a concept in and of itself in psychology. It's just, lying and manipulation is, you know, yeah, we'll lie. And when you're lying about something that is, if I slap you in the face and then you stand there and go, I didn't slap you in the face. That's not, that's just lying to just such a massive extent. But that is control, that is manipulation, that is denial, that is just pig-headedness, that is also, to a certain extent, the knowledge that if you just keep denying something, people will eventually leave you alone. Right? Just how it goes. Unless we're talking about something that is like illegal or something, that's not necessarily going to work with something in court or whatever. But you can just deny stuff. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And eventually people will doubt themselves. That's a thing. That's a form of manipulation. But again, it's just manipulation and lying. There's nothing special about it or clever about it. It's anyone can do it. You know. And yet, look, Anonymous, it's. I understand that from the outside, a lot of it looks like we do it intentionally, or like there is something very complicated about the plan that we set out with what we do with all these things. And the truth is, we just don't. We aren't that clever. We end up just caught up in a world of lies and crap and shit, and it happens to us as much as we do it. We aren't that smart. We aren't that clever. It's it happens on the fly. It happens to get us to the next 10 minutes. And eventually it does all just catch up with you. But we're not that smart. We're not that clever. We don't do targeted campaigns of misinformation and control and that sort of thing. We aren't setting out to do that. And I think ultimately in relationships, and I've kind of lost track of whether we're talking about people with uh, BPD or MPD. But with the people with MPD in relationships, we don't want to be manipulating and gaslighting people. That's not a thing we want. We want an ideal relationship. And so we're not ever looking for someone to manipulate. Uh Again, not to say that we don't, because we do manipulate. We don't go looking for it. We'd rather have that great relationship. And when it comes, with MPD and relationships, my MPD always related to the relationship, right? So in the sense that my narcissism surrounded the relationship. It was about that. And so I didn't want to do anything bad to it. In fact, even it's still the case, you know. I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize my relationship or make it less perfect because I have narcissistic what's the sources about how good things are. Am I making sense? Yeah, but I don't think there's the gaslighting. Not a real thing. Thing from a movie. Sounds good. Sounds good. And it sort of fits when you don't take into account anything that the person with MPD tells you. Gaslighting is a great thing for a Dr. Ramani video. Because you can use it to sort of just like that narcissist is evil and they set out to make you feel like you're going mad. No, we fucking don't. Not at all. We set out to do other things. That may have the result of you feeling like you're going mad. Totally. Because we'll lie and manipulate. But we're not doing it to make you feel like you're going mad. Why the fuck would we do that? You know? Anyway. Would you say you're not on my... Wait, where are we here? Would you say, quote, you're not on my level, you haven't done anything with your life, you're just pathetic, don't speak to me like we're on the same level. I totally say something like that. I've said far worse things than that. That's like warm up. Don't speak to me like we're on the same level. Fucking hell, that's like hello. What do you would I say that? Jesus Christ. Hi Jacob. Yeah, no, we're very not broken up at all. Don't worry. Yeah, oh my god. I have the things I've said to people. The things I've said to people. And I hate when this comes up because I want it right. I am so proud of the fucked up shit I have said to people. And I hate that talking about this brings out that feeling of pride. It brings out that I want to tell you all the shit that I have said. I want you to know that I did that. And it's okay. Sorry, just caught the chat room. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The worst thing I've ever said I can't tell you about. I certainly can't talk about it on a video. Right. I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I can't talk about it on a video. And that's not to protect me. That is, it would be a. I said it in group, and so if I tell you about it, it would be a massive breach of confidentiality. I'm just not ever going to do that. So it's if I could think of a way that I would, but I haven't been able to yet, so I can't quite. But honestly, this whole idea of saying to somebody, "Oh, you're shit. You're not as good as me. You're not on the same level as me." What the fuck? Yeah, that's easy. That's the start. I will just sit and talk to someone till they just cry. Um Historically, it's something I have enjoyed greatly. Um and I don't like that bit. You know, when we're talking about the darkness inside. Hang on. When we're talking about the darkness inside, uh there's some darkness, and yeah, that whole, like, the things I've said, the things I've done, not done, said. Done sounds much more ominous. Like, what have you done, Rich? What have you done? Like, I've not done anything. I've said many things. That's fine. Uh, but yeah, that's the darkness. I've said horrible things. I've said horrible things. It takes a lot, and this is when I go into the dehumanizing bit. When you totally, right, like I said in today's video, there is that BPD MPD internal war going on, where MPD side wants to do all MPD things, and BPD side knows, no, we have empathy, damn you. You'll stop hurting people, and you'll feel bad about it later. So it's annoying, right? But sometimes, if the right buttons are pushed, if the right situation occurs, if I decide that you're not worth it anymore, that barrier breaks down entirely, and I will eat you. And that's when I've said the worst things that I've ever said. That's when I've been at that point, and it's just like, you just remove that. You just remove that protection. And you know what? That's where it almost feels a little bit. That's where it starts to feel sociopathic for me. Or psychopathic, right? Those of you, right? This is one where I just need pointing in the right direction as to what it is. This is the super darkness of it. I don't know if I ever talked about this in this way before, because this might be quite. This is the darkness. Right, this is the darkness. Okay. So on the if you just have MPD, and as a result you have no empathy, and that lack of empathy allows you to behave in particular ways related to those MPD traits that you might have, right? You can treat people in particular ways, not good ways. Pick a thing. I'm not being specific, but it's doable because there's a lack of empathy there. You don't appreciate how people feel about how you treat them, so you can treat them in any way, and there's no guilt and shame there, right? That's the theory. Okay with that one? And then you can mix in some BPD with that, and BPD brings with it strong empathy, where you do appreciate how other people feel and the emotions that they're going through, and so that brings in this, as I say, this shame and guilt towards the MPD, that sort of prevents it from doing its thing. But when I talk about how you can break down that barrier, it doesn't mean that the empathy goes away, right? And so it's not simply like deactivating the BPD, taking it out of the mix, and just running on MPD. That's not what's happening. The empathy is still there. You still feel that. When you go into that dehumanizing, I'm going to hurt you mode, it's not because there's a lack of empathy. There is very much empathy there, and it is reveled in to feel that pain that you are causing that other person. Psychopathy. There you go. So that's where it goes. And I feel that is so much darker and fucked up, to be perfectly honest. When I've said the bad things, when I've done the bad things, when that barrier has broken down and I've dehumanized somebody, it hasn't been because of the lack of empathy. It hasn't been because I've not appreciated how they felt. It's been because I've very much appreciated how they felt, and I've enjoyed that. It's not even a not caring. It's not that. It's not a not caring. There's an active enjoyment. And I think that then relates back to like this feeling of like pride that I get when we talk about the worst things that I've ever said. That I want to brag about it. That I'm thinking, yeah, I made him cry. You know, that's fucked, isn't it? That's truly fucked. And that bothers me greatly. You know, to not, that I'm not worrying about simply breaking down and not caring about the pain I cause others, but breaking down and enjoying the pain I cause others. And clearly that enjoyment staying with me as a memory, as a thing that I can remember later. That's quite a dark confession. Don't know where that came from. Oh, we're plumbing the depths now. You know, but it is empathy. It's not a lack of empathy at all. It is very much a, you know. So it's one. But it's not a constant, right? That's the other thing with it. It's not a constant. I don't enjoy hurting people. You know, that's not a thing I do, and it's that it. I don't know. Like if I was a psychopath, I feel like it would be something that would come out of me a lot more. Like it would be a notable thing. There would be so many more examples of it, and so much more dark shit. Whereas I'm thinking of sort of a couple of examples throughout my adult life, rather than a repeated pattern of behavior, which is what all these things seem to require. You know, long repeated patterns of behavior. When you look at my MPD, BPD traits, these things go back decades and decades. They are repeated, notable patterns of behavior. Whereas anything that you could call psychopathy, no, just the occasional thing. But then, I don't know. MD is sometimes referred to as Michael Douglas in Brazil. That's wonderful. We don't really have any. It's just MD here, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not down with the kids. Is it Mandy? Is it? I thought that was actually a different drug. Molly. Yeah, okay. No, it's just never been a thing. Never been a thing. It was just always disappointingly called not ecstasy. Mandy is the new name Pigs caught onto Molly. I hate to disappoint you, but as much as we'd like to think they're thick, I think they've probably caught on to Mandy right now. And I also don't think that it really screws. I don't think that's really a thing. Like, they were all talking about Molly, now they're talking about Mandy. We've no idea what it is. Like, honestly, I don't think that's the thing. Yeah. Um, that's the thing. Yeah, we all need Jesus. What? I'm here. You have a church, it's here every Monday night. And worship. That's. How did you know I would say that? You set me up for that, didn't you? You knew I would say that. You knew that would be a thing. I'm just that easy and predictable. They asked me, what the hell is Mandy? Who is Mandy? Why is Mandy? Really? And when they asking that, when they're asking that, when the police are asking that, is that like a of the evening or ever question? Because that's a different list. You know, totally different list. Hi TikTok people, sorry I've been ignoring you. I'm live on YouTube right now. Come and join us. There's a link in my there's a link on the profile, TikTok profile. I'm just running you there. And I can answer your question, AJW23. Come on over. Yeah, we'd be here for days if it was of the evening. I think that's probably the best bet. That's probably the best bet. Tramadol. Have I ever had tramadol? I feel like I must have done at some point. I feel like that's a, of course I have level kind of thing. Um, has to have been, right? I feel like I've done that loads. Hang on, I'm fiddling with things. Fiddling with things. So, hey, I have a question. We've all done a bit of tramadol. Yeah, so I have a question anyway. Um, unrelated to. Sorry, you just distracted me in the chat. Is this a thing? With the asking me where I got my shirt, right? Is this a thing? Do you know this thing? Because I thought it was just like this little devil thing. Uh, anyway, I have to. I want to check. So I have a question about today's video. Why is it my most watched video ever? Already? Like what? What the fuck? Seriously? Um. I don't understand what I've done. So if anybody has like any, I know you love the dark side, and I know the video is called The Darkness Within, but I've done something like that. Today was like a rehash of an old video with a puppet in it, right? There was absolutely nothing clever about today's video. And yet that my most watched video ever. Fastest watched. Basically, you get when you look at, I might as well just show you, right? Hang on, bear with me. Right, so this is my YouTube stats. We'll refresh the page again, because it does a little firework thing on it. Hang on, I'm just finding an excuse to turn my camera off more than anything. So when you release a video, it does this thing. It starts counting down. How has it performed over the amount of time since you posted it? And this amount of time is continually going on. So there it's currently 4 hours 21 minutes. I've waffled on. It'll probably be 4 hours 22 minutes now. So this is continually ticking on. And it's counting how many views you've had in that amount of time compared to like the last few videos, last 10 videos. You can see it. So The Darkness Within, 167 views in 4 hours 22 minutes. The next closest was that. Now that's, I have no idea why. And the worst thing about trying new things to try and like grow audience, get attention, whatever, is when they don't work. But then when something does work and you don't know why because you don't know what you did, it's fucking annoying. And it's really irritating and it's driving me a bit nuts. Perfectly honest. That's how it goes. I did just, I don't really want to, I have nothing else to show you on this, by the way. I just wanted to smoke something not on screen, if I'm honest. That's really how this is going. We've been going for an hour and I've nothing to show you there. At all. Yeah, I don't mind sharing my YouTube stats. They're painfully pathetic. But today's good. Look, this video though. I mean, this is the romantic obsession. That is actually my most watched video. By a long shot. Like, you can't even see that. You can just about see it. That grey line just above what appears to be 0 on this chart because it's so high. Like, that's the average view of the average video. That's what that line represents. So this blue line is how far above average. There we go. So over this period of time, as of today, so this as of the 17th of April, 10,380 views. Typical is between 400 and 980. That's the thing. So there, I'm going to put the camera back on because I have no need to. I'm just killing time. Sorry. Let's bring the chat back on. Did Noisy go? Yeah, drugs are fun until they're not. It's just the same as your YouTube studios, Jacob. It just has smaller numbers on it. Don't worry. It's the same one. I've been diagnosed with BPD, but when I read about MPD, it feels like it could be They seem so similar. Yes and no. I am honestly, uh, do you know where I'm sort of arriving at with cluster B things? Is I find myself feeling more and more comfortable with this idea that all the cluster B things are just a big pot of traits, and we sort of just pick a load, and sometimes they tend towards groups within the group, but it seems I don't know. Like, like what if instead of BPD and MPD and SPD and HPD, what if we just had this big bucket and we took all the nine traits of each thing and put them all in a big bowl, and you just pick out however many you've got, and maybe sometimes that looks more like what we class as BPD or NPD or whatever on any given day, but you know, um, it's yeah. So I when people say I think I have this, but then I think I also have this, I don't know. Yeah, that's why they're getting rid of specific PDs. I'm on board with that. I'm totally on board with that. That it feels like, honestly, that is what it feels like. That is really it. Um, cause could I hang on? I feel compelled to look at the markers of other things. There are so many things. Yeah, a person with antisocial personality disorder may exploit, manipulate, or violate the rights of other people, and so many of these things could fit in with MPD. It just depends how you decide to word them that day, and whatever. Could lack concern, regret, or remorse about other people's distress. Behave irresponsibly and show disregard for normal social behavior. Well, there's various bits. That's your impulsive behavior in BPD, isn't it? Have difficulty in sustaining long-term relationships. I mean, there's no way that's unique to ASPD. Be unable to control their anger. I mean, very vague, but God, that's BPD, NPD, whatever. There's so many of these that feel like all the others. Let's look at HPDs then. I always forget them. You see, but again, some of these are right. What are the signs and symptoms of histrionic personality disorder? A person with histrionic personality disorder may feel underappreciated or depressed when they're not the center of attention. Hello. Like, yeah. Have rapidly shifting and shallow emotions. Almost BP-ish. I mean, I have rapidly shifting deep emotions, so it's not a stretch. Be dramatic and extremely emotionally expressive, even to the point of embarrassing friends and family in public. I mean, that could, yeah. Have a larger than life presence. I mean, that is how my MPD can present a lot of the time. Be persistently charming and flirtatious. Well, some of us just can't help being persistently charming. I mean, some of us are just like that. Um, be overly concerned with their physical appearance. And it's some of these are just so close. Some of these are just so. Oh, I knocked the TikTok people over. Some of these are just so similar. It's so difficult to say. No wonder people are sort of reluctant to put a diagnosis on us. Like how can anyone dare say it must be so difficult. Just such a complicated thing to do. How far behind are you from the rest of everybody here? I don't. The Mandy Molly thing was a while ago, wasn't it? Didn't we sort that one out? Thought we sorted that one. Anyway. Oh, I have to share this. I have to share this. Hang on. Hang on. Because right, so I searched and I found, where are we? This is the Cleveland Clinic at clevelandclinic.org. My.Cleveland Clinic. Or clevelandclinic.org. I just noticed the little cartoons they've done to indicate the different diagnostic criteria. That's wonderful. That's like there's a seductive or provocative. We need you to draw a family-friendly cartoon indicating seductive or provocative behavior. What is that? What is that one? That's a man in yellow pants, and that looks like I'm getting mother-daughter vibes there. Just like, come on, walk away from the man. Ignore, no, don't look at him. What is going on with that one? Oh. Use his appearance to draw attention, wearing a crown and a cape. That is amazing. Thinks relationships are closer than they are. Get your hand out. Get off me. That's amazing. I want a t-shirt with that on. That looks like it's just been made out of little clip art. Now, surely they have one for. Can I search this website? Oh. Sorry, this is a little sidetrack now. Please have little cartoons. Please have little cartoons. Oh, that's disappointing. That is disappointing. That there are no little cartoons for MPD here. I'm a little bit gutted there. We have to know. Please be little cartoons. We have little cartoons. Okay. Fear of abandonment. No! Come back! These are amazing. Just like that one. Just, I don't know. And what's your self-image like? I don't know. Oh, he feels empty. Anger, it's being struck by lightning in the head there. And temporary paranoid thoughts. I thought he was on a toilet for a minute there. He's just thinking about scribbles. Can I make this bigger? Oh, I can. That's thank good. Right. Look at those ones. Come back. I so want that on a t-shirt. It's so sad and yet brilliant. Oh, there. That's my paranoid thought right there. That's what I'm thinking about when I have paranoid thoughts. I'm thinking of the scribbles. That's amazing. I'm so disappointed there aren't any NPD ones there. Last one then. Please, no cartoons here. Oh, that, again, disappointing. Disappointing. Hopefully, I will come back and check. I'll bookmark these pages and hopefully we'll get some cartoons from the Cleveland Clinic. No, there aren't any, are there? That's a shame. Have some CBT out? No. Oh. That's kind of disappointing. I want some of those on a t-shirt. What can I say? Come back. Anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna shuffle off. But it's been an absolute delight doing a live stream for you all tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Go and check out today's video, of course. For some reason, it's the most popular video I've ever done. Don't know what to tell you. Why? Should I just have darkness in every title? Is that what we should? Is this the way forward? Is that how you do it? Because I can't do that in the long term, but that's the way things go anyway. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter and all the other things. I don't know. This is a call to action bit, isn't it? Do action. All of you, act accordingly. earlymorningbarking.com. That's all you need to know, I suppose. Go there, subscribe to everything, follow me on everything, pay me money on everything, do all of that. That's basically it. So you take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.